Well, hello and welcome to Theology on Tap. I'm Michael McLean from STM Campus Ministry, and today is a special day on a special week. We have a special guest today. He is the STM Scholar in Indigenous Education. For years, he worked with the Office of the Treaty Commissioner, and he's also ordained a deacon for the Prince Albert Diocese. So please welcome Harry Lafond. How are you doing, Harry?
I'm doing well, thank you. It's one of those days, it's an ideal fall day. Sunshine, warmth, and you just don't want to be inside. So this will be a quick session, I think. Anyway.
Sounds good to me. I thought we could start talking a little bit about your vocation and how God has called you in this life and how you've responded.
Well, I guess you would call me a reluctant respondent to a call, because this whole thing started about 60 years ago. I wanted to be a priest, and it just didn't work out, but it's been there all along, and I think I've responded to the call of service in my own way, and in the kind of environment that I found myself in. As a teacher, I learned about service. I learned about helping. I learned about taking people where they're at. The children taught me that. And that's an important part of being in service, is to understand where you are in a relationship with a person, and acting accordingly. So children really taught me that. It took a while. I'm a reluctant learner. It took me a while, but I learned to just step back when it required it, so I could know and sense what the other person is feeling, what the other person is, what their needs are, and how do I fit into their life? That doesn't take anything away from them. It doesn't take away their freedom and their sense of worth and their need for affirmation from me. So I would say that's probably the turning point in my life. And so when I've gone into other roles in my community, both in Muskeg and in Saskatchewan and Canada, I've carried that with me, and have brought that sense of not just commitment, but the need to step back, take stock, listen very carefully. Listening has become somewhere, somehow, somebody at some retreat spoke about deep listening many years ago. I can't even remember when, but I internalized it, and it's been reinforced by elders over the course of many years. The absolute essential behavior for a person of service is to listen deeply. And so that's what I've carried with me. And I try to do that all the time, very consciously, is not to spout off an answer or, oh yeah, I know what you need, type of thing. You just, let me listen. Tell me about it, and let the person just tell me what they need to tell me. It's worked very well for me as a person of service, and and all the way along, different individuals that I've encountered, especially people that I admire and want to learn from, have been very clear about stating that as a Cree person, as somebody who has been chosen uh, by the community and to lead, that leadership was not about uh, it's not about racing off with what do you call it, with a flag and trying to lead an army into battle. It's more about the person who uh, uh, it's about a person who takes the time uh, to build a team spirit with the people that have selected him. It's pulling them into the circle and operating from that level of interaction, and it works for me. I found that people have responded to me from that uh, level of relationship building, and I trust the elders. I trust what they have to teach about service, about being a servant, and being a leader. From that perspective. So now, after all of that and all that slow learning that's been going on, the Catholic Church through my local bishop here have invited me a number of times to consider taking on entering a life of a deacon and being ordained to provide. And when I began to understand, that deacons really are about serving people, about providing that community service to individuals and communities, then it made sense. And then it made sense. Then I could, in all honesty, ask the Creator and the Holy Spirit to guide me into a process of ordination, and that's what happened a little over a year ago. I was ordained along with four other men, and we've become servants in the diocese. And what's nice about it, and this is probably one of the reasons why I never followed through on the priesthood, is that you can have a family, you can have a partner, you can have that that way of life. The vocation of marriage is very much an important part of being a deacon. And so I got ordained, but my wife is there, and we're ordained together in a sense, because she takes on the responsibility along with me to live the life of a deacon. I don't live it by myself. I don't go off in a corner and do the things that a deacon is expected to do, and she goes on with her life. We do it together. I think we've become more of a couple as a consequence of the being going through the ordination.
That is such a witness to the community, not just the couple part, but you're talking about being a servant leader and having the importance of listening as being a leader, but also that very important symbol of your couplehood and your marriage to the community, working together and working for others, not just for each other, but for everybody. It's really a beautiful example.
And we enjoy it. It's a good life. It's a blessed life, and every morning we the prayer starts with, usually the prayers start with smudging, but in the prayer is, Lord, open my lips and my mouth will proclaim your praises. That's a beautiful way to start a day. It just, the mouth is such a valuable part of who we are, and yet it can be very dangerous and damaging. And so we have to be very conscious about how we use it.
Yeah, right. Well, we're thankful that you're using this mouth today to talk to us. September 30th is being recognized by the federal government this year for the first time as the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. We've had Orange T-shirt Day for a long while, grassroots movement, but now we're having federally recognized as a holiday, and at the University of Saskatchewan being observed, and just kind of wondering if you could talk a little bit about some of the positive things that you see happening in the area of reconciliation.
Well, we started the spring of this year, partly I think because of the tensions created by COVID and the need to express our frustration, and it just the Kamloops story broke, and it went all over the country, and there's all kinds of feelings that come out of that story. My feelings are probably different than yours, and people who are not aware of the impact of residential schools, and so we're dealing with all these many different types of feelings right now, and we're coming to the 30th year to remember the importance of reconciliation. I think when I look at what's happening all over the place is that the Kamloops story and Cowlesses and all that, what it's done is it's created a new level of awareness right across the country. And that, I think the TRC by itself laid the groundwork for that to happen. We've been talking about the TRC pushing and trying to get organizations and individuals to take into their heart, the spirit of the TRC. But it was slow going, very slow going. And now we have people that are educating themselves. And they want to know more. They want to know what this is about. And I think that's a good thing. I think that reconciliation can only happen when this type of process takes root, and it becomes a national endeavor. We'll never have 100%, but if we have a significant number of people going down this route, they'll create a movement. And I think that movement is beginning. It's there, and and at the same time, we will continue to circle that concept of reconciliation and try to understand what does it mean for us as individuals, what does it mean for us as communities, as identifiable groups of people, Indigenous people, newcomers, old newcomers. There's different levels of society that makes up, that's made up by all of these groups and peoples. And so reconciliation takes on many different nuances for each of us, and that's the beauty of it. Is the beauty we can learn from each other if we take the time to listen to each other, and we can learn from the rest of the world. I mean, this reconciliation is not it's not, there's no copyright on it by Canada. It's it's been expressed and practiced and processed in many different parts of the world with varying levels of success, and we can learn from that if we're willing to learn. We can learn a lot, and I know I certainly have. My library has grown in the last year with readings that have to do with Mandela, with Gandhi, and some of the South American movements. And I think we need to do that. We need to know from these. Some of them are prophets. They teach us something. The Pope delivers a very prophetic message that we need to pay attention to. And there have been other people that provide this kind of leadership to us. So on the home front, reconciliation for me has to be right here in my house. I have to know how to be a reconciling person with my God, or with the spirit world, and I have to know how to be like that in the community. Probably the greatest enemy of reconciliation is judgment. It's that Canadian. Probably we don't own it, but we're pretty close. We go around judging people. We're forever judging people, and we're not aware of it. And so, being a reconciling person in a community is putting aside that desire to pass judgment on somebody. And so for me, then it's those little things like that make a world of difference in how I function in my own family, in my own community, and in Canadian society. It's you have to think about simple things like that idiot that's cutting you off on the freeway. You got to think. You have to be able to back off from saying, calling them an idiot, because maybe they're not an idiot. Maybe they're, there's maybe a very good reason why they cut you off. That's where you need to be. That's where I need to be. But I think most importantly for me is I have to make sure my family knows about this. I have 5 children. I have 13 grandchildren, and they have partners. And so, it becomes, you're looking at about 25, 30 people out there that are influenced directly by my behavior and so we have to be a family that understands how to reconcile, how to express love, how to handle stress, how to handle conflict, inside of our family. And if we do that right, it's like it's an expanding circle. It's that the old story of throwing a pebble into a pond. it expands, it grows because other people are watching, and so that's the way we have to be. So that's what reconciliation is for me. And on the big side, it's participating in events like the 30th, participating and being a witness to a national statement about being a reconciling person. We have to show those people out there that we're in agreement, and we want to be engaged in their process, and that helps them then to gain the confidence that they need to keep this process growing and happening and expanding.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I just love the way you use that image of the pebble in the pond, because it's so true that every action we have can affect others, especially in our family, but really also in the community, and then the world. You see it in individuals and groups that are making a big difference, and really some positive things happening in this area. So it's pretty exciting. I wanted to ask, we were talking about sort of some heavy things, but we're also talking about, sometimes when people share their vocation stories, they kind of forget to talk about the good stuff, What is something good that's happening in your life, Harry? What can you share with us that you're really enjoying, or something you're really looking forward to?
Well, I'm looking forward to. As a deacon, I have a license to witness marriages.
Okay.
And I'm really looking forward to this weekend, because I get to witness my first marriage, and that is something that I've been looking forward to. I've done a lot of funerals, and and that's valuable, and I learn a lot from that. But I like baptisms, and I like to experience witnessing a wedding. So I'm looking forward to that, and that's I hope that from there, I can see more. I can witness individuals, living a life of commitment towards each other. Something that it's always sad when two people find that they can't resolve, differences in their relationship, and they move apart, and there's a lot of pain in that, a lot of hurt, and it's like anything else. It's never just to those two individuals, because it touches everybody that is somehow or another related, connected to them.
Yeah, well, I want to thank you for your commitment. First of all, your lifelong commitment to being a wonderful example and a great model for us in the community, but also your commitment to come and be with us today. So thank you so much, Harry. And I want to wish you blessings in your ministry, and I want to tell you, just keep doing what you're doing.
Okay, just make sure I don't drop that ring on Saturday.
Be in the moment, focus.
Yeah.
Okay, all the best and blessings to the couple.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay,
yeah.
We'll see you.
Yeah.